Commissioner Stu Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Joe DeLuca. Commissioner Al Ramirez.
Present.
Commissioner Luke Stempien.
Here.
City Manager Craig Morton.
Here.
Fire Captain Jeff Marceau.
Here.
And Assessor Nathan Hager.
Here.
Thank you.
So I understand we have an addition to the agenda. 11C in regard to the engineers.
Yes, yes, yes. You should have a copy of that in front of you there. Yep.
What does that called?
11C, and it's this.
11C is Charlie.
The addition is that the discussion in regard to qualification for an engineer.
Correct.
So that is our one change. Is there some?
Move to approve the agenda is not fine.
Unless you want to add a guest speaker. Did you want to talk?
Would you like to be a guest speaker today? Sure, you can
Not
mention
just
it right now.
Okay, no.
I'm sorry, is that a yes or a no?
No, like you.
Okay.
All right.
We'll just have it here. yourself.
Not that we were going to put you on the spot.
Right.
Okay.
Hard time you get your ticket.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next we have approval of the consent agenda items. Any questions for Craig?
I move we approve the agenda item as written, including the payment of $398,282.83.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Now roll call please.
Davis.
Yes.
Cannis.
Yes.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Stempien.
Yes.
Duffy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have our first citizens from the floor. So if anyone would like to come up and speak, please come to the podium.
Good evening, everybody. Last night, 6700 Laramie. What brings me to the podium tonight, I didn't really want to come up here at all, but I noticed something today. I went on to post the agenda for the citizens today. The agenda used to be on the website as a PDF, and it was pretty easy to copy and paste and post it. Now it's in a different format. It's just wrote on there or something. I don't know how the computer said. So I went I go picture it and then I post it to the citizens. What I noticed today was brought to my attention is the general fund amounts, the amounts of money that's on this agenda that we got tonight seems to be missing for the public to look on the website. It stops, it actually doesn't have any of that. It just says the payment and the amounts of, and no numbers. The reason it's concerning to me is the numbers were questioned a couple weeks ago online by some citizens, and now the numbers have disappeared. I did picture this, and I posted this one for all the citizens to see, so they've got the numbers now. So I'm going to ask whoever does the agenda online, can you please post the general fund checking and the tax account and the HRA account and the total, so all citizens can see and watch as the meetings go on. Maybe it was just a mistake. It doesn't appear, it appears odd, but I just wanted to let you guys know again, we seem to be going down this weird road of transparency, and I gotta let you know the numbers were questioned, and now they're not. That's odd. So, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up and speak? Okay. Seeing no one, we will then move on to, so we don't have a guest speaker.
No, she said no, right? Yeah.
Javier, could you at least introduce your
Yeah, absolutely. Come on. I was going to say, you want me to speak on her behalf?
Yes, please.
Yes.
There you go. Well, I'm Officer Sanchez. I've been here 3 years. And we now have an intern. Brooklyn. This is Brooklyn, intern Brooklyn. She's at Ferris State. She's on her senior year now. We'll be headed towards the police academy. They have a pretty cool program there where they do 3 months of just like a normal university student in the last 2 semesters, the police academy. So they will graduate with a bachelor's and an ECOL certification. she'll be with us the next month, I believe.
Well, great, welcome, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, we will give you lots of, not too exciting.
Thanks, Javier, good job.
Okay, next, department head, we have Jeff Marcel.
So, how's everyone going? Hi, everyone. So in front of you is a packet Leah helped me put together today. The projector being out, I could have shown you online all this. The top page is the graphics package we approved for the new truck that's coming. Don't look at any of the technical details on the truck because it's just a generic. This is close enough, but it gets the graphics. We did our best to match it to the trucks we have now. The colors don't print out very well at all. This is actually better than the printer I have at Fire Hall.
Red is better, red is better.
At this point, Stu, just to change a little bit of paint, it's gonna cost me 10 grand. So that's why we're gonna wait and do a wrap later on the things we do want to change.
Maybe we should take a collection.
If anyone cares, I do have the paint samples that we are going to paint. So the top is gonna be this gray here, and the main body is gonna be the green, lime, they call it. Green, they don't got a name on this one, but they go by the numbers more than the color name. So that was the term finished up and done. The next page is Pierce and Reliant are very good about updating their customers. So for the last, I've known the truck has been in production for about a month now. We have 2 weeks worth of updates on their website. They didn't post on Friday because of the holiday and a whole lot of work got done on a 4-day work week, understandable. But every week my vendor texts me, hey, you got pictures are online, here's the link. Anyone can go online. You go to Reliant Fire, hit on sales and production, find Emily City, click it, you can look through all the pictures we have. So the first one we have printed out for me today is the first one, the bare bones, just putting the frame and chassis together, the frame of the cab together for us. The last one I saw, we got paneling on it, so we're moving in the right direction finally. Other than that, the latest updates, my vendor still says mid-July, late July, we should be taking delivery. Our final inspection trip out to Wisconsin is that same time frame. So it just all depends on where they get it. 4th of July holiday, Memorial Day, just passing, might hinder that a little bit. But we're getting there. It's finally coming together. Realistic projections, it won't be in service until mid to late August, early September, because we have tools to be mounted, training to do on the truck, driver's training for the firefighters, so they know how to drive it and operate. There's new qualities to the truck, we're gonna have foam on it, the new pump. Reliant was hauling the first person, Reliant now, they come out and train us how to use the truck. So there's nothing that the guys, myself and Stu, the guys that have been around, I've done it this way for 20 years, that's the way we do it. No, you want to do it the way you're taught.
What's the
That
pump
way we don't
capacity?
work it.
What's the pump capacity of the truck?
1,500 gallons. That's what we had before, it's done as well. We talked about possibly going up. The only difference in the pump is just the stamp they put on what it's rated for. There's no difference in the pump.
Who certified it? You are or they are?
As far as
Certification for the pump.
certification of the pump itself, Pierce will do that. They build it in-house. They get parts from Waterous and build it in-house, and then Waterous comes out and certifies.
I'm sorry, you said in service late July, is that what you said?
Delivery late July, in service, and these are just rough guesstimates, I would predict mid-August to mid-September, just so we can get everything done and done properly. I'm not gonna rush this truck into service just because it's here. I've already warned the guys, once it gets here, the wash bay is closed unless we need to wash our apparatus, because it doesn't move. Until it's ready, we're not putting it in service.
You're gonna bring it to like Summerfest?
If it's here in time, yes, that is the plan. We'll show it off, it won't have any tools on it, it won't have water or packs, but it will be here. As long as it's here in time.
Yeah,
I would love to say I have an exact date.
right.
We've all worked in production in some way,
Yep.
shape, or form. Never.
So, is there a reason for the specific 321 number?
So, in Lapeer County, every department has a station number. Lapeer is station 1, Emily City 3, Almont 4, Goodland is 16, so you always start with your station numbers. two there. One is just which one is it that you have. Previously, Bob will remember, we had 324. That was the number that truck had. We had 321, 324. We didn't have anything in the middle. We talked about renumbering this truck to 322. Why? We only have one engine, so the sticker is 321.
Interesting.
It's a Lapeer County thing. Every county in the state of Michigan does it a little different. Some city departments do it, your station 2 of, the truck 3, or they do ladder 3, squad 3, engine 3. Lapeer County is a little smaller, we don't need to go that all that road.
So when dispatch calls it out from Lapeer, will they call it by truck number?
Normally by station, they talk the entire station first unless a department's requesting a specific truck. With Emily City, 9 times out of 10, we're going to call for a specific truck. It's our large tanker, has 7,000 gallons. A lot of people will call specifically for that.
How much more does the tank hold?
Tank on this truck is 2,000 gallons. We bumped it up from 1,000. With our rural community and daytime response right now, it will give us a better chance to have an initial attack waiting out of the departments. That kind of got proven to be a little closer to home the other day. Luckily, we did not have a fire at the house. It was Friday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, if I remember right. Days are going together. I had myself, 2 firefighters, and 1 from the assistant department show up for a possible structure fire. So 4 guys for, I think it was a 2,500 square foot house that had a 500-foot driveway. We would have been doing a call everybody and send them out, see if we can get that out.
How are we sitting on finances? Where we at? I know everything went up, so you can't tell me the
So-
opposite, so.
So actually, right now, financially, again, we went with Pierce mainly because the price we signed was the price we were going to get, except for changes we had to make. Since the initial contract signed, we have made changes to the truck. We reduced the engine just slightly, but we upgraded the suspension. We removed the light tower because the lights around the truck itself are just as good as the light tower. I'm trying to think what else has changed. Different graphics that cost us a little bit more. Right now, last I was told, I'll say that, we were like 9,600 and change under the original budget. So what else, and I can show you every change order that shows the prices. For instance, after we got back, we got the graphics detail about a month ago. If you look at it on the box of the truck, you'll understand that the top has that big orange spot. We saw it on another truck out there, almost the same color as ours. It had a big black up there, and it just, there was nothing depth-wise to it. Well, now seeing it out here, it's like, man, I wish we would have done something. Called my vendor, hey, how much would it cost to do that paint on there? Comes back to me, well, the option is cut the panels, paint the panels, mount the panels. Like, okay, what about water behind? Nope, they just mount it on there. That was gonna be $6,500. Okay, how much is painting? Twice, because there's time, the effort, masking it, painting it a different color adds up. So we're looking at different options down the road that will be cheaper to do something up there, just to save that money in case there is something we need to add last minute or change last minute.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Wonderful. So next we have a public hearing regarding to truth and taxation. Do you want to, or you just want us to do the motion?
Well, we're just going to do notice of publications to record.
Right. So, go ahead.
I would move to enter the notices and publications into the record of the truth and taxation public hearing.
Is there a second? Okay. Do you need a roll call for that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. So next, we have the public hearing, open public hearing at 7:15. And Mr. Haggard.
Good evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Nathan Hager. I'm the city assessor. I've been for times the rate of inflation, which is established by the state of Michigan. And this past year for '26, it was 2.7%. So in your documents, if you notice the CPI, that short, it says CPI, it should be IRM. The CPI is the Consumer Price Index, which is one component of the IRM, which is the inflation rate multiplier. That's established by the Department of Treasury and dictated to everybody in the state, says this is what you're going to use. So this year it was 2.7%. And so the Headley rollback allows you to take last year's taxable, adjust it for inflation, and then if your values for the whole city, when you put it together in one lump, if it's greater than that, then you have to roll back or reduce your millages that are subject to it. Mostly we're talking about the operating millage. Millages that are levied specifically to pay debt are not subject to the rollback. So what we're talking about is your city operating millage, which generates the vast majority of the revenue of the city operating. So this year, the millage reduction fraction was zero. You did not have a rollback. And that's because values did increase, but we had enough additions, which is new structures, new buildings being built, new things being added, which also is part of the calculation. So it's good news as far as your operating millage that for all of your villages, your rollback is a 1, which means if it's not less than 1, then you don't have to reduce your millage. But the second part of this law, and the reason that we're here, is what's called the BTRF, or the base tax rate fraction. And that is another ratio that does not take into account inflation at all. And so what that does is basically last year's taxable divided by this year's taxable. And that gives you a ratio that says, and the reason that they did that is what it is the city or every township, every taxing authority in the state of Michigan is subject to this law. And what it says, if you're going to collect $4 in revenue and taxes, as you did last year, you have to give the public a chance to be heard. You have to have a hearing, which is what we're doing right now, and tell the public, okay, we're going to collect more dollars in revenue than we did last year, and this is why, and the public has to have a chance to be heard. So that's what we're doing. The reason you're going to collect more dollars is because values continue to increase. People continue to pay more for housing, vacant lands, commercial industrial properties throughout the city and the county and the entire state than they did last year. That's the short answer. Your taxable value is increasing less than the assessed value because of the cap. Everybody's property, as long as you own it, is protected by the cap. And that was created by Proposal A 1995. And this year, unless you purchased it recently or built something new, your taxable value increased that 2.7% this year. So we're having this truth in taxation hearing so that the public has a chance to be heard. And then as long as we have the hearing, then you as the city council have the option to choose what to levy for your operating millage. The numbers in front of you, you'll have your max allowable, which this year is the same as it was last year, the 16.9637, which has been reduced from what it was way back prior to the law being put in place. But your max allowable is the 16.9637, which is the same as the millage that you levied last year. You always have the option to levy a smaller number, but I always encourage the units that I work for to levy your max allowable because the reality of this law is that there's nothing in the law that allows that number to ever go up. Now this year you don't have to reduce it because your ratio is a 1, but most everybody else in the county is getting a reduction this year. But the thing about it is eventually property values are going to turn around and they're going to go down. Hopefully they don't crash like they did in 07 and 08, but they're not going to go up forever. And the issue being, once values start to go down, the operating millage, there's nothing in the law that allows that to go up
Anyone?
Yes, so this isn't like we're asking citizens like, okay, we're gonna increase your, this is just status quo. This
This
would
is status
maintain
quo.
what was.
The language in the publication is statutory. They have the city, in the publication in the paper, it says, this is a hearing on increasing property taxes. That's statutorily required. And the reason that it says that is because the city will actually collect more dollars than they did last year. But the millage rate is staying exactly the same. The reason they're collecting more dollars is because the property values went up. But we are now proposing to raise the millage rate to assess a new tax of any kind. It's saying exactly what it was last year, but it will result in more dollars being collected, so that's why we have to call it increasing property tax.
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a misconception when people read that, an increase.
It is, and that's why there's several municipalities that I work for that historically, several times, they have chosen, we have room in the budget, I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to do that, put that out for the public, because it often is get quite a lot of blowback, and people say, why are you raising the taxes? Well, we're not, we're levying exactly what we did last year, but because of the Headley Amendment, because of the way the law is written, the publication has to say, a hearing on increasing property taxes, when we're actually, and often, if you have a mandatory rollback, often municipalities are actually levying a lower millage rate than you did last year. But it will still result in a few more dollars, so we still go do the same thing. But you're right, though. It is, my opinion, it's definitely misleading, but it's law. So.
Thank you.
Sure.
It is very misleading.
I agree.
A lot of young couples aren't happy with this at all.
I understand.
Because they're ready to move out of town, then what we gotta do, guys? We gotta quit taxing the residents. I'm sorry, but it's just, that's what they take it as, it's tax. And they're, a few of them say, well, their house payment, their insurance is all under one payment. Well, if this goes up, their house payment goes up, they can't afford it.
Understood.
We gotta come up with some other ways of doing it. And I understand where they're coming from, it's just, how do you, convince them, because it's not what it says, so they're saying property tax, and they're firing right up there, so. It's a scary situation right now. Last week we were in here, what to do with, more millage, it's gotta stop taxing everybody. Hamlin City is the highest one, it's really high for property tax. So, that's where I kinda stand on it, I'm not thrilled with it, but.
So, anyone else? Anyone in the public would like to comment? Come on up, guys.
So if I'm understanding right, you're saying, so the citizens' tax bills will be exactly the same, like no increase?
No, the tax bill is a function of two things. The millage rate, all the different millages, like when you look at your tax bill, whether summer or winter, it will show over on the right-hand side, it lists the millages that are being assessed. So, and then that times the taxable value.
So there's more money coming out of their pocket?
There will be more money coming out of their pocket,
Okay.
but
Now,
yes.
if I heard you right, everybody else, did I hear you right, are rolling that back? Am I understanding that right? Are they rolling back?
Not everyone. Some municipalities will be rolling.
And we could roll back, but because you're having this meeting allows you to maybe.
Keep it the same as last year. Keep the millage rate the same. The
Millage rate the same.
The same as it was last year. If your property value, if your house increased in value last year, you will pay more dollars in taxes.
They're
Yes.
all increased because it's inflated. But that being said, we're still back to kind of what Mr. Tanis mentioned, more money is coming out of the citizens' pocket in taxes.
Correct.
That isn't, there are people taxed so high right now, they're having trouble thinking about selling their house because if you were to buy it in Lake City, I'm not gonna spend 10 grand a year on a house just in tax with what's to offer here. So I think Tanis is right. If there's a way to roll back and put the money back into people's pockets, if our government won't run on what it's running on now, we need to be looking into where that spending would be my thoughts.
That's the role of the city council, is to decide what to levy for an operating cost.
So if they turn this down, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if they turn this, if they,
Status quo.
yeah, if they disagree with this meeting tonight, is it just squashed?
No, this is a public hearing to allow the public to be heard. I was explaining what's going on. After this, the actual public hearing is closed, another agenda item will be for the city council to determine or decide what to levy for the operating millage. They can choose to what number to actually levy that will generate revenue for the city.
This is the only chance that the public has any say in it?
This is the chance for the public to be heard on the operating millage this year, correct?
Today.
Nobody knows that.
Well, it was published, it happens every year in June, because the millage is actually on the summer tax bill every year, so this happens every year in June. It was published in the newspaper, it was published everywhere. I mean, it was published everywhere that's required, and this happens every year, so, I understand your concern. But the only thing I would say is people say, well, people are gonna sell their house and leave. There's basically no inventory of houses for sale in LA City. Anything decent that comes up for sale, sells in 30 days or less. So far, there's still plenty of demand in the market for houses in the city. I don't dispute or deny for a second that people that live in the city pay a lot in taxes. You're right. And that needs to be a part of the consideration before you buy a house. But so far, the market is plenty of demand for real estate in the city.
Do you feel, I guess an opinion, do you feel the city offers enough for people to want to come here and pay the tax they're paying? I mean, you're an assessor, so.
That's in the eye of the beholder. I mean,
That's an individual choice.
That's an individual choice. I mean, and every person is different. I mean, I live in a very rural area. I mean, I literally came off the tractor baling hay to make it back to the hearing tonight. I make different choices than a lot of other people do. And so people are free to choose. And I talk to, in my role as a city assessor, I field calls all the time. Well, if I buy this house, what are my taxes? Your tax bill will be X. That's too much. I'm going to go somewhere else. Feel free. That's the choice you have.
Okay.
And so anybody that has questions or concerns, you can always call, whether it's me or in any municipality in the state. If you're looking at buying a house, it's very, very important that you ask the assessor of that township or city, if I buy this house, what are my taxes going to be next year? You don't care what they paid in taxes this year because of Proposal A, because of the capping of the taxable value. Once it uncaps the year following the sale, which is state law, that tax bill can go up 200 or 300%. It can and it does. So if you're interested in a house, you need to ask before you buy it, if I buy this house, what are the taxes going to be next year?
So if these taxes go up, we've created an NIA.
There is an NIA.
Okay, so now the taxes go up. Doesn't NIA capture all that difference?
Yes, the NIA is a tax.
So it does make sense to try to get taxes to go up.
Well,
for the creation of NIA.
Well, perhaps, but it's not as the assessor, I have zero, I don't make projects, it's 100% tied to actual market values. So.
But it would be a reason for the board to be against it, going back.
That's where I'm.
Rolling the taxes back.
Well, because the NIA is, the basis that is 2026, which is the values that were set this year. So the NIA doesn't start capturing any value until values continue to go up after 2026. In the initial few years, the actual captured revenue by the NIA is going to be very, very small. I mean, it depends on what values do. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but the NIA it does exist, but the base was set in 26. So, or was it 25? 26, so that's where we are right now. And that will not start capturing revenue or generating revenue until values accelerate or values increase beyond that level.
Would you feel comfortable having a house in LA City at the tax rate?
That's a personal opinion.
That's a personal question, it doesn't really matter.
It's an individual choice.
It doesn't, would I?
In the end, I guess my main question was, is dollars, again, potentially coming out of the citizens' pockets?
Yes, dollars continue to come out of the citizens'
And
pockets.
the only way to stop it, if I'm correct, is they have the option to just stop it. right
Well,
now.
they have the option to look to levy a smaller amount, yes.
Other municipalities are levying.
Most municipalities are, I'm trying to think through one meetings, this is my 5th one of these in the last 2 weeks, so. Every single municipality has levied the max allowable. Some of them did get rolled back because of the Headley Amendment, but everybody has levied the max.
So when they roll back, does it put money back in the citizens?
No, there's still more than last year, it's just incrementally
Do
smaller.
you inform the board members of what new build or new buyers are paying when their houses are being uncapped? Do you update them on what those taxes are for them, their people?
No, only if I'm asked.
On the other side of this, the status quo, which I'm kind of in favor of, is we will get more money, but we also have increases in costs. We have to compensate for it. So,
We are the highest paying in Lapeer County.
but
We're the highest paying taxes. There's somebody at Metcalf and at Cheney. They pay $10,000
I don't know
for
that,
their
I
taxes.
don't know that, but at this point, I pay taxes too, and I'm not happy with it.
But your taxes aren't uncapped. You've been there for a long time, so your taxes are gonna be
Yeah,
considerably
yeah,
low.
Yeah, but my taxes go up every year, the same percentage as everybody else's.
It's not the same.
The percentage is the same.
Stu, we're
If
thinking,
the percentage is the same, but I pay $5,000 in taxes and I do not have anything great.
Yeah.
I think that it would be important for you guys, before you make a decision, to look at actual uncapped from the past
But
year or
if
two.
we don't raise our taxes, we can't raise our police department taxes, salaries. We can't raise the employees in here salaries. We can't pay for the DPW department. That's all going up too. Well, the fire truck's a one-time deal. I'm not even gonna get into that. But the point is that our overhead goes up here too, like inflation.
Yeah, but there's money being spent other places that aren't necessary. That we could
We
probably
tried
cut
not
back
to-
on those
As a
things.
city council, we tried not to spend money that's unnecessary. But also, as a city council, we're required to balance and keep the city level and safe and not put it in debt.
All I was
We have
saying,
to- we're
in the
balancing.
beginning of what I
It's a
said
balancing
too,
act for us.
the whole thing I was saying was I think it would be important for you guys to see the numbers from the past 2 years of people buying and building and what they're paying. The uncapped taxes. I think it would be super important for you guys to see that for the people that
Now,
live here.
how much should we take off the police department?
That still has nothing to
Should
do
we
with
cut
what I
their
just
salary
said.
10%?
All right.
We can cut their salaries and then we can get them.
That has nothing to do with what I just said.
My street.
I'm telling you to educate yourself before you make a
Excuse me,
decision.
guys,
That's
hold
literally
on.
it.
Guys,
uh,
one person at a time.
South Elmont, I've been here for 40 plus years.
Exactly. So your taxes
May I
are not
finish?
even in
May I finish?
comparison.
May I finish? South Elmont has been here for 40 years, when I was living there, over 40. We needed the road repaired when I moved in. It's still been patched, and the reason it's being patched is the plumbing underneath it is so lousy that they can't spend the money to patch it, they gotta dig it up again, like they did North Elmont.
So
And
uncap your
that's a
taxes.
multi-million-dollar deal. Where do we get that money?
Stu, where did the money go the last 30 years that should have been doing some of it then?
Where has the money gone? How about the fire truck? Years ago, we didn't have, I fought 2 times back on the board, we didn't have a fund for a new fire truck. We didn't even have a line item for a fire
And where
truck.
was the money?
And when I talked to the city council, they wanted to put a line item in, and I wanted to put $5,000 in it, and they argued with me, they didn't put that much in. They ended up putting $100,000, and it's $1 million truck, and we hope that we need 2 more. We also have spaces. I'm retired. Every time it goes up, it hits me too. My income is here, and it's been here for a lot of years. And my tax has been going up, and my expense is going up. I have to figure it out.
But
And
even
so
our
far-
assessor is
so
saying that
far,
our
I've been
taxes
lucky
are
I've been
high.
doing it. I say I've been lucky I've been doing it.
Stu, our assessor said our taxes are high.
So
That
we
being
have
said,
money.
if you want healthy growth, it's very hard to get people to want to move here, even though you're saying there's not much inventory, I'll give you that. But if people are taxed out of coming here, there is no growth.
And that's
And
not,
if we don't pay, if
that's
we
new
don't
people.
have
What
money
about
to
the
cover
people
our
already?
overhead, we have no city.
Then you don't put $250,000 parking lots in, $1 million. There's other ways to kind of cut, and you know that, Stu. There's other ways, $20,000 bulletproof glass. There is other ways to cut and save. And it's sad that you're gonna go directly to the police department. It isn't them.
I'm just taking that one. How about the DPW? How about the office staff? You want to take a spin? I think, what do you want me to pick out? We have overhead. We have overhead.
What we're asking you is to see numbers. Before you guys make a decision, it'd be nice if you all were shown numbers of, outside of your taxes, what somebody moving here is paying in taxes. Our assessor might know what's a base, is there a baseline? Is there, say, a number in your head that
Well, it's
they're
disappointing.
not gonna be under, like $3,000, $5,000? I mean, what is a,
If you buy whether it's, doesn't matter how new or old the house is, if someone moves to the city, buys a $200,000 house, it will uncap, so your taxable value will be $100,000. If that's your homestead, if you live there with 100% PRE, you're paying about $4,700 a year in taxes on a $200,000 house. A $300,000 house, that's gonna be $6,900, and go up from there. So, that's the reality of where we live right now. And, yeah, those are big numbers, don't deny that at all. And you can chisel and pick nits at portions of the budget. The reality is, Emily City is a small city. It's a city. And the residents of the city want services. They want the fire department, they voted for a fire hall, they voted for street villages, they want their police department, they want their own police department, they want all these things, but there's less than 1,300 parcels in this entire city. And so geographically, it's a pretty small city. And tax base wise, for a city, it's quite small. And so, in order to generate the revenue to pay for these services, there's only two things. It's a taxable value times a millage rate. And if your taxable value is kind of low for a city, your millage rate's going to have to be higher. That's the reality.
Are you including the 1,300, are you including all commercial properties too?
Yeah. Yeah, I could go look up the number, but I know that's.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. So for a city, it's geographically, it's quite small. Parcel and tax base wise, for a city, it's quite small. Doesn't mean that's not good or bad. It's the reality that we're living with. So,
Sure.
there's a nice newer house that goes on the market and somebody comes in and sells. It's kind of scary. I agree 100%.
Hopefully the property we have on the other side, south side of town, south, east, west side, could be industrial product area, and we could get a higher tax rate on the industrial area and cover us. Houses do not cover us. I don't know what it is now, but about 15 years ago, average house tax covered about 70% of the cost, or 75% of the cost of living in that town. The extra was picked up by industry and business. Homeowners don't, and my 75% could be wrong, it could be 50, could be 90 right now. I don't know.
but anything new moving forward, Stu, NIA is in charge of, from my understanding, is in charge of the tax.
Well, no, just understand that all that is, and there's a lot of misconceptions about that. That authority, the fact that NIA exists is not going to cost any taxpayer a single dollar more than if it didn't. All that's doing is that is capturing a portion of the existing tax revenue and dedicate it to a specific thing. What's that?
Oh, I was just having only one person talk at a time.
So and some people, I have one person just look me in the eye and tell me I'm lying. So you can choose to believe me or not, that's fine. But the fact that NIA exists is not going to cost any taxpayer, commercial, industrial, or otherwise, or residential, a single dollar more than if it didn't. It's a way to capture some revenue and dedicate it to infrastructure improvements. So A couple things to be aware of in the vein that Stu was talking about. The state of Michigan continues to chip away at especially the commercial industrial tax base with personal property. Nobody likes paying taxes on machinery and furniture, fixtures, and equipment, but most personal property is now exempt from taxation, and especially in the city, that used to be a big chunk of revenue. Now, the city does get some revenue back from that, but they don't get made whole. And also, I mean, any time that industry or somebody comes and is considering building a new building or bringing in a factory or something here, they come to the city and they want a 50% tax abatement, reduce our taxes by 50% or we won't come. Okay, so it puts the city, the council, it's literally between the proverbial rock and a hard place. And we say, well, no, that's the whole point, is you need to help generate revenue to pay for everything else. They say, well, fine, we won't come here. So then the option is, well, okay, we give them a 50% reduction for 12 years. It puts the city council in a very difficult position when every time those come up, because some 50% is better than nothing. Well, that's true, but
12 years, you get the full.
well, yes, but in 12 years, that building is depreciated probably down almost to 50%. So, and the thing to keep in mind when those occur, those IFT hearings, you can grant the IFT for 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. You do not have to grant 12 years. You could give them for a shorter period of time. And we only have, do we have any, they all expired? We only have a couple. Now we got Gallup. And we got a couple left. Most of them expired by
We
now.
had one 2 years ago.
Yeah, and the new building down there
Yeah.
in South Elmont. But that's, everybody's looking to provide services, and then the people that typically fund those services are looking for ways to not have to pay as much in taxes. I understand. I don't like paying taxes. I'm an assessor, it's what I do for a living. I don't like paying taxes any better than anybody else, but I will say that I resent my property taxes the least, because I know where they're going. I can look at my tax bill and I still, that is going, what that is actually going to. It's going to township. I live in a township. The township keeps less than 2% of everything they collect, because it goes out to all these different entities. I like that a lot better than the check I write to the IRS every quarter. That's a lot harder for me to send that money to Washington. Now, that doesn't affect you guys trying to make your mortgage payment. I know it doesn't. But
The scary amount of tax paid now in my city with an uncapped property or a new property, I'm trying to do this not as an opinion, but are you comfortable saying that if this doesn't continue to go up, we potentially could be in trouble as a city?
what do you mean, if what doesn't continue?
If the tax, the home values and tax values go up?
Well, yeah, if we go through another crash, there's going to be serious issues. Not just in the city, everywhere.
Sure.
Because we've had this heavily rolled back long enough now. I sit on planning commission in the township where I live. And so we've had this rollback long enough now that's why you're seeing there are so many different villages that keep hitting the ballot. Because for years in our time, I live in Marlette Township. For years we have a fire authority. Most of it's Marlette Township. We also have the city, and we have portions of 2 or 3 other townships. Very common scenario. For a long, long time, we paid our portion of the fire, we paid for all of our fire out of the general fund. We didn't have a fire village because we could pay for it out of the general fund. Well, that ended about 8-10 years ago because our operating village keeps getting reduced, so we have fewer and fewer dollars. And so that was kind of the point, is that they, being the legislature, wanted municipalities to be more transparent, say if you want money to spend on a service, you have to go to the voters have to say yes. We didn't want the township or the city continuing to raise taxes and the taxpayers not knowing why or where the money's going. So that's why, okay, so we put a millage, I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 mills, whatever it was, on the ballot to the township voters. Are you willing to pay extra for the fire village? Voters said yes, so now we have a millage that I pay more every year so that we can pay for our fire authority. And that continues to happen. Should we go through a crash? Yeah, the city's gonna have to, if say all of a sudden we lose $20-30 million off of our taxable value, hopefully maybe maybe 2 or 3, anything is going to, it results in less revenue. And wages, insurance, benefits, electricity, everything isn't costing less. Those costs continue to increase. So it's a city, it's a public service, you're right. But when it comes to paying the bills, it's no different than me running my business or you guys running your household. The police cars and the fire and the DPW trucks, they all buy gas and diesel. What's going on with that in the last few months? And so when this revenue goes down, which is what it would take for the taxpayers to feel relief to generate less revenue, then there's fewer things the city can pay to do. So your question is, if they stopped going up, there'd be a problem? Yeah, there's going to be a problem. And services are going to have to get cut. Not just here, everywhere.
I have a hard time when you guys instantly, or not you guys, when instantly the police department's brought in as kind of, it's their problem, or services are going to be cut.
Okay.
And I've witnessed over the last year what I would call, in my opinion, wasteful spending. I mean, we ripped a parking lot out here, we put a new parking lot in, we put a facade. We wanted to put $250,000 inside this beautiful building. I'm just saying the optics and how this looks right now, if you can put $1 back in the citizen's pocket, I think that would be the wisest thing as a board member to do right now. Especially since you said some people have rolled back.
Some people have what?
Have rolled back. So,
okay.
and with you agreeing that it's a scary tax here, it is, and I get it, it's less amount of properties, I understand what you're saying there. The problem is, in my opinion, is you're going back after the taxpayers out of their pocket, but yet, up in Marlette, you're like, I know where the spending's going. The citizens here aren't sure where this spending's going, and we question where the spending's went for the last 30 years to put us in this position where we're needing pipes and why was, so it's just, they're maxed out. People are maxed out here on tax. And I'm concerned that they might get to a point where what happens if people can't sell their house because the taxes on it are more than the mortgage payment?
What happens if we can't pay the police, the office staff, the DPW?
You don't put $500,000 in a parking lot. And you don't put $250,000 in a farmer's market. And you don't put $20,000 in the...
Well, wait, first of all, I'm not sure what you're saying.
These are things I've watched, Stu. Basically, financially, we're going down a road where we could be in trouble, and our assessor's telling us we need to raise taxes again. That's alarming.
The taxes are not being raised. It's that based upon...
Then let me change the wording. Still $1.
Let me finish. Taxes are not being raised. What's being happening is that as someone's house increases in value, so in other words, year over year, they increase $2,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is, and the tax portion is a very small part of that. And so, yes, because my house is now worth more than it was 5 years ago, yeah, I'm going to pay more tax on it, but I'm not going to pay $5,000 worth of tax on it. I'm going to pay taxes on it because of the fact that the city has to provide services. And as Stu was saying, all of these costs go up. And so, yes, is it appropriate? If we're not, if for example, we leave our operating millage at 16.963, we're not increasing their taxes. It is just because of the fact that the value has gone. So, does anyone else have anything they would like to add in the public hearing?
I would like to say you're wrong, in my opinion, because the assessor said $1 will come out of the citizens' pockets. So you can sit there and say you're not increasing their taxes at all. I'm trying to get you guys to realize if you can halt and really think about this, or at least get people's taxes in front of you, please don't make a decision tonight or even at the next meeting.
We have to.
We have to.
We have to. It was published as a public hearing. The public hearing is tonight. And as soon as I close the public hearing, then this group will decide what they want to do about it.
With 2 members shy.
You know, sometimes people get sick, sometimes people go on vacation. What can I say? We have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
So, is there anything else that hasn't already been said? Anyone else? Okay, so at this point, I will close the public hearing at 7:52. And thank you very much for being here. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion? We need to make a decision, so if anyone would like to make a motion, they can.
We do have a resolution on page 20, just for prepared.
So that is a resolution, and if this board decided they wanted to do that, we would need a motion. And perhaps you might, if you're interested, you might want to consider one of the suggested motions if you want to do that.
I may have stayed kind of quiet on all of this, but I would agree with the citizens that we are getting taxed like crazy. You know, we still, you know, I understand from both sides that we need a reduction because people can only do so much. Everybody's stretched for bills, everybody's stretched for time. Every bit of our time has to be monetized now to even be able to survive. But I also understand as a legislative body and as the city, we also need to see those increases, we need to see something. My motion would actually be to go back to the drawing board of this resolution to decrease the millage to that max base rate, the 2026 max base rate, which was the rate in question would be 16.5345 mils.
If we go to 16 mils, what would that mean as a loss? I'm sorry, you made a motion. Is there a second?
Support.
Okay.
Making a motion on that?
What would be the loss to the city?
It wouldn't be a loss, it would be an increase of 0.63%.
It would be a difference of $62,282.
That's if it stayed, but over what the budget was for 2025, the actual base rate operation based off the information Mr. Hare gave us, the revenue was 2.384 mil. On the base rate for 2026, it's 2.399 mil. It's still increased by $15,000. It's just not as much of an increase as what we would have seen had the millage rate remained the same.
So just so I'm clear, so the millage rate that would have stayed the same is 16.963.
16.963 would be if we did status quo, essentially based off of the resolution in front of us would say. My motion would be to roll it back voluntarily to the base tax rate, which would be the 16.5345, which still does produce an increase of 0.63% of the city's revenue. But it does give somewhat of a break.
But not 2.60.
But
Go the other way. It gives the resident a break.
Somewhat of a break. There still will be the increase based off of the increases, but it's not as harsh.
You do have to take into consideration, we did have 1.5 mils that were not on the 25 tax bill because of Bigelow rate building, just so you know that. So that was a nice tax rate this past year for the residents. 1.5 mils, because that was a 20-year process.
Okay, so we have a motion and we've got support. Roll call, please.
Sempian?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Tanis?
Yes.
Yaki?
No. Okay. We have, the other motion.
So your L 4029 will have to be adjusted also, because that's the governing legislature that allows me to put the taxes on the tax bill that I'm preparing right now. Yeah, because that's 60,000 different.
Cut my salary.
Procedurally, what needs to be done then for that?
For right now, probably the L 4029 would have to just be that, see under column 10, millage requested to be levied for July 1st, that first number would have to be adjusted accordingly.
So, do we still need a motion to approve the L 4029 with a different rate?
I would get that on the books, because it does say that, allow you to be able to sign the board's behalf.
Then I would move to approve the L 4029 2026 tax rate request with that change to the base tax rate as previously approved, and to give permission to Mayor Yaki to sign on behalf of the board.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Sempian?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
Yaki?
Yes.
Thank you.
City-owned properties, I'm not sure that we have any kind of.
I'll give you an update.
All right.
We had a meeting today, so Chuck wasn't gonna be here, so. Chuck wasn't gonna be here, so I talked to Chuck and I gave his update, so we did. We sat down and we discussed kind of what the fees would be to rent the building. And Chuck's gonna do some, search and find out what other townships do and see how we set things up. As far as that goes, I think we said we were having an open house June 30th. I think. Is that right?
Can't remember.
Okay, but anyways, we're gonna have an open house eventually, but right now we're trying to get everything all set. The post office wants to rent the building. They're not bringing no internet with it, it's just more than, mail over there. Because they have asbestos flooring and they have to take it out, so. So they're negotiating, we're negotiating with them on a fee of what it would cost them to rent the building for a couple of weeks, so. That's where we're at right now. We get another meeting on the 9th, and then again another one on the 23rd. Before the open house, so, yes.
How long do you think that they're going to be renting the post office?
2 weeks.
2 weeks for the evening?
2 weeks, yeah. So we're kind of playing game with them right now, see what they come up with, so. Because we do need to get fire protection in there, all that has to be done. We can get away with it. Keith gave us the okay to do it as long as somebody's liable, which would be Chuck or somebody's liable meanwhile, so we can't use the building, so that's where we're at. So.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. Okay, new business, MML liability and property pool.
Yeah, we received the annual quote from MML on liability and property insurance. And on page 24 is the executive overview. What it shows is that the premiums for the upcoming year have increased by $12,377.
From what I understand, but there also is basically, there's, what do they call that, the dividend?
Yes,
Okay, so,
$3,770.
so that net number to us for a year is about $8,600?
Correct.
As the increase would be 86.
That's the net increase,
Well,
yes.
yeah, the dividend is from last year's refund, and then the new increase is 12,000.
Can we explore any other places to get it from?
Again, there are very few people who insure municipalities, but again, we're a member of MML, so we probably get the best rate that you can get.
Okay.
Any other questions for Craig? We obviously have to have insurance. Cost of insurance is going up. And so, we've got another $8,600 that we're gonna have to find in the budget somewhere. So is there a motion?
Sure. I'll make the motion to approve the Michigan Municipal League liability and property pool annual premium of $126,662 for the fiscal year 2026 through 2027.
Okay, we got a motion, second. Roll call, please.
Stempien?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Cannis?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Yaki?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next we have the city fee schedule. And this would actually go into effect as of July 1st. Got all the information in regard to what all the fees would be.
So the changes are in the column in the red, on the far column. It just tells you like what, like the one on the front page, $45 was increased by 5. And then, the swim fees were increased this year through the Park and Rec for residents and non-residents, just to come more in line with the other local pools in the area, or rental care and stuff. The meters over here on the DPW portion, we're going to remove those middle ones, and we're going to just have them quoted and based on the job. Ed said that he can do a better quoting on whether it's being replaced based on what he's paid for that actual meter, because he has to order some of them are special order for sizes.
Yeah, basically, every time he goes to order a meter, the rate has gone up.
Yep.
So we want to have a number in here. Again, as an example, he's got 140 in here, we're now paying like about 230 more.
Yeah, so we don't want,
What is the total, the increase will be?
for which one?
For all of them. The total package.
Well, there's all kinds of things. If you look on page of the utilities, the water and sewer rates are increasing. That was a approved rate increase that happened 3 years ago. This is the fourth year of the cycle. There's very few other ones that have increased. We did have the fire department added a whole new section because you now have a fire inspector, because he's taken the proper classes and education to be an inspector, so he will be charging for his services, and that will help the city, but we also had to pay for his education.
You're in charge for inspection,
Mhm.
so you get a money back.
Yep, you can see that on the last page there. So we've been through, every department head has gone through every section of their portion of this fee schedule. And you can see the red ones are the only ones that have increased, the other ones are staying the same.
What the difference is going to be, you can't tell me the total difference.
Well, I don't know how,
Well, it depends on the utilization. I guess.
Yeah.
How many times is somebody going to look at the pool, or?
and how many water meters are we
Yeah, but
replacing?
but we have some other figures to do. Okay.
Yeah. And how many inspections?
This
will we
increase
do?
to $10,
We don't have one of these.
200, I thought I'd seen that.
Any other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for the 2026-27 fee schedule to approve, just approve the schedule as presented.
Is there a second? I guess we'll do a roll call.
Cannis?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Ramirez?
No.
Stempien?
Yes.
Yaki?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So next, we have the addition of 11C to the agenda. Craig, you want to explain this?
In order to apply for the grants that we're applying for the 4th Street and the lead line sewer project, the state requires us to submit requests for qualified engineers, and then to review those requests and to form a committee to review those submissions and select a vendor. We went through that process. We had only 2 engineering firms apply.
Support?
I'll support.
Okay. Any discussion or questions?
Who was your support?
It was either me
Stu
or
and
Bob,
Bob.
Both.
something there.
Who's the next one? Flip a coin, we don't care.
I don't know if we need a roll call for that. Or do you want a roll call?
Let's see that, Mr.
They did ask for an approval. so-
Yeah, let's do a roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd rather roll it off.
Sure.
Davis,
Yes.
Tanis,
Yes.
Stempien,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Yaki.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're applying for both EPA funding and EDA funding. I want to make sure that all the i's are dotted and the t's crossed, so that's what I'm...
And they want copies of the
You wanna
minutes,
revote?
so.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let you know why.
Our second citizens from the floor, if anyone would like to speak.
How you guys doing? Andy Jeffries.
Your address, please?
6296 West Temple City Road. Is the NIH board filled?
NIA board?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's already.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no more, because I've submitted my application twice. So we're not doing nothing else.
We have 8 members,
Okay.
and so, yes, that board is appointed, but
Was it supposed to be, how many was originally supposed to be on, 7 or 9? Is what I thought.
actually, the original number was 5.
Okay,
And so the thing is that there actually will be a request to change the ordinance. According to state statute, we can have up to 9.
okay.
And so we're going to be looking at the next meeting to actually do a brief
Ordinance
request to
amendment.
change the ordinance just to increase, but there's 8.
Okay. So you guys have my application, so
Do we,
yes, I dropped it off personally the second time, here, 2
I
weeks
believe
ago.
we had asked it, yeah.
Yeah, so he should have,
It was after the fact, it
Okay.
was after we appointed the board.
yes, before.
I will tell you this, that we have people that leave boards all the time. They move, they decide not to do it, they get ill, whatever. So we're always looking for people
Sure.
to fill board spots. So we will hold on to your application.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we do not need a closed session.
No,
Do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, so, hold on.
You can't do that, yes.
We're gonna go down the line here. Commissioner Ramirez, do you have anything?
Yes, if we had anyone from the board, NIU, if we added any people to the NIU board. Well, he was already on it.
I'm sorry.
Have we added any more people?
Well,
to
no,
the
we
NIU?
just.
Other than the list that we have.
We just appointed.
No, at the time, we had, all the applications that I knew of, everyone got appointed.
Okay.
Okay.
Was his application not on time?
As far as I understand, we did not actually have his application at the time.
So, if I can interject, back in March,
Okay, you know what, actually, you can't at this point,
okay, that's fine.
but thank you. So anyway, all the applications that I was aware of, we had them all, and everyone was appointed.
Everybody that applied
Yes,
got appointed.
okay.
Nobody left off.
No,
Okay. And how many on the board?
there are 7 plus the position of the mayor, and so, and not me personally, but the position of the mayor, so there are 8. And so, we did Brownfield too, so I think we have sworn everyone in for the NIA.
Everybody was sworn in, and we had our first meeting already. We have another meeting scheduled.
Right. Okay, anything else? Okay, Commissioner Semia?
Thank you everybody for coming out. I really appreciate everybody's input regarding the treatment taxation. It is always eye-opening to have all our citizens here, at least, be able to express opinions, so really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
No thanks tonight.
No thanks tonight? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Tanis?
Thanks for coming out. I know where you're coming from. My house is capped, they can't do nothing about it. Same as Stu's, I know that. My kids bought one on Metcalf, I know what their taxes are gonna be. I know where you're coming from, I know about them. Several other ones that I've talked to in this town. I need to get out of the town, like go work in another town so nobody knows I'm here. I might get something done, so. Thanks for coming, appreciate it, guys.
And I have nothing. So, a motion to adjourn.
I move you to.
Second.